Today we're going to look at the volume of prisms and cylinders. So what is volume? Volume is how many of these little cubes an object takes up. For example, we can see here that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's how many layers? 1 layer, 2 layers, and 3 layers. So what's that? 4 times 3. That is, there's 12 little cubes. And count them again. Count the front one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's 2 layers going that way. So that's 12. So we have 12 cubes, or 12 centimeter cube according to the units here. Now how did we figure that out? We went 2 by 2, which is 4, and multiply it by how long it is. So let's have a look at the following shapes. Let's see if we can find a pattern on how to count these cubes really quickly. So here we have this shape over here, and it is a prism because we can see that there's this pattern here repeated 2 times, the front layer and the back layer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2, we have 16. Let's have a look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there is 3 layers, so we have 36 little cubes. Let's have a look at this one. Can you count out this way? Not really, because we have missing cubes at the back. So perhaps we count this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers. So 6 times 3, we have 18 little cubes. Let's skip this one and go to the other funky shapes. Let's do H. I'll give you a moment to have a think about how many cubes there are. So we have 1, and we have 24 cubes for this one. Let's try I. If I can find my little mouse. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 44 cubes for this one. Have a go at this one. So 13 times 4, we have 52 little cubes. So you get the gist of it. So we look for the piece that gets repeated and repeated, and we figure out the area of this one, and we multiply it by, we call this height, even though it's lying down. Okay. So for this one, you'll find the area of this one and multiply by how many layers there are. We call that H. Okay, so let's have a look at examples without the little cubes. So the first one here is pretty straightforward. We figure out the area of any size. So let's say this side, for instance, that is 6 times 3. 6 times 3. Then we multiply by how many layers there are. So 12. Put that in the calculator. We have 6 times 3 times 12 is 216 millimeters squared. You can pause here and have a go at these 6 shapes, and then I'll come back and finish it off. This one's really easy. It's got the same number, so 4 times 4 times 4, or 4 cubed, which is 64 centimeters cubed. Oops, I can see a mistake here. Cubed. Let's have a look at this one. So which shape repeats itself? Is it the rectangle or is it the triangle? We can see that the triangle repeats itself. So we're going to figure out the area of the triangle. Then we're going to multiply it by that height there, so 4. So the area of a triangle is half base times height. Then we have the times 4 that we cannot lose. So we have half of 2 times 2 times the 4. So we have cancel that out. 2 times 4 is 8 millimeters cubed. Let's move up a little bit. Okay, this shape over here, this cylinder over here. So again, which shape repeats itself? Is this one here. And what is the area of a circle? It's pi r squared. Then we multiply by that distance there, h. So we have pi, and the radius here, don't be tricked, is half of the 4. So we have 2 squared, and then the h is 6. So we have 2 squared is 4, 4 times 6 is 24, 24 pi. If I want it in exact form, you can leave it like that. Otherwise, 24 pi, where's my pi button? Is 75.36. And we'll look at the units, millimeters cubed. So I'll do one more example of the cylinder. Again, we look at the area that repeats itself, that area times the height, this height here. So we have pi r squared for the area times the height, which is 8. So we have pi, this time the radius is given to us, 6, and then we have the height 8. So we have 6 times 6 is 36 times 8 is 288 pi, or in other words, 904.3 centimeters cubed. I won't go through the other example, but you get the idea. So you always look for the area and then multiply it by the height. And that's it. I'll finish off one more of these, and then you can go off and do your work. So let's have a look at this one over here. The area that we're going to want to repeat is this one, and therefore that is going to be our h. So the area of a triangle is half base times height, and then we're going to multiply by that h. Take note that this height is not the same as this height. Okay, I know it's lying down, now we're saying there's 2 heights, and it's a little bit unconventional, the wording, but as long as you understand which h we're talking about. So we have half times 3 times the height of the triangle, 2. And now we're looking at the prism, how long it is, 10. So cancel and cancel, we have 30. So remember, doesn't matter what shape it is, even you have a little weird blob. Okay, this is going to be tricky to cover. As long as if that blob repeats, you find what the area of this piece is, then you multiply it by that length over there. Okay, so let's recap the information that we have gone through. So first of all, what are the 4 prisms that you must know? There is the cube, where all sides are the same. There is the rectangular prism. There is the triangular prism. Pretty tricky drawing this. And there is the cylinder. Okay, what are the 4 formulas that we've learned today? It's always finding the area of one side and multiplying by how long it is. It doesn't matter what shape it is. Always look for the shape that repeats itself and multiply by that length. Not this rectangle, because it's not the same. And again, the area of this side, multiply by that side. So you can put this in your book. So this is a cuboid or cube. This is the rectangular prism. This is a triangular prism. And this is our cylinder. And the volume for all of these, let's write the formula. So this is A, B, and C. So again, the area of this times C, we get A times B times C. But because it's a cube, all of them will be the same. So it'll be just A cubed. Whereas this one, the rectangular prism, we have that times, let's call this C again. So now we have A, B, A times B times C. This time they stay different. You'll notice that the book, instead of using C, it uses H, but I don't like when they do that because when it comes to the triangle, it's so confusing. So let's call base there, and that's the height there. So if we had H there and H there, it would be really confusing. So now we have the triangle times C. So we have half base times height times C. And then lastly, the cylinder, we need a radius here, R. So let's call this C again. So we have the area of a circle times C. So we have pi r squared times C. So these are the formulas, but I suggest that you do not memorize the formula, but that you remember what volume means. So the volume is the space that it takes up inside. And I hope that you can remember all the prisms are simply the area times how long it is. Have fun!